So Fate Grand Order Episode 3 has arrived, and like I expected, they teased us with some Gilgamesh action. They gave us just enough to get us excited, but then they removed it just before we got too comfy with the action. But god damn am I enjoying this series. Now, we get some confirmation on what's happened to our boy Gilgamesh. I did have some people last week point out that current Gilgamesh is actually the changed man after his whole trip that he kind of experienced trying to, kind of a little asshole conqueror that he was back in, say, the Fate Zero summoning ways. And after clearly the death of someone he cared about quite much, he's clearly become a different person, as confirmed in this episode. And as much as I really loved he was summoned in Fate Zero and series like that, where he just believed everything was his. That guy was an asshole, but he was such a lovable asshole. I gotta say, I'm enjoying this version of Gil even more, and that's not me saying because I hated the other version. I just think, when you compare lines where he'll be like, everything in this world is mine, compare that to, say, like Fate Zero, which I'm in the process of rewatching because I want to make a video for that in the future. It's just, I love seeing how this character evolved and how multi-layered he actually is, and just seeing how, if this was like his previous self, before he kind of got a personality upgrade, these characters would be dead right now. He'd just kill them because he was bored of them. And based on Merlin's comments last week, it implied to me that he was still that same person, which is why I was still kind of perceiving him and kind of shocked by what was happening. But you can clearly tell, it's clear why he did pretty good as a ruler right now. I mean, even after the death of someone who was basically destined to destroy him, and even after gaining a heart, just that betrayal of being just kind of ripped apart and then having a fake copy of Enkidu basically trying to kill you, like, that's gotta do some crazy shit to your personality and mental state. And I love how this episode, when it kicks off, it's just him testing, because everything in this world, it's his. Holy Grail? Pfft, I already got that. Why do you think everyone's trying to attack me? Like, he's the kind of character who you kind of just feel like, even if this was your first introduction to Gilgamesh, you just believe, yeah, this guy's got it covered, let's just kick back and just work with the common folk. Like, that's what's so great about his character, is how when he starts fighting people, he wants to test, hey, I already know who you are. I'm Gilgamesh, I know who everyone is. But let's test you. The one thing he probably can't know is, unless he actually tests their combat abilities, what's happening. And basically within 2 minutes, he realizes that they're not worth it. Everything that he's been currently doing, he can continue to handle these guys. They aren't going to aid him in that much. But I do like how, even before, they start getting jobs from Gilgamesh, very basic jobs, I might add, but was very cute and kind of breaking the typical Fate formula of what we associate with, Holy Grail wars or anything associated with the Holy Grail. I do like how it's clear he has an interest in these characters, and that's what's fun, is that this is a group of characters that they are in probably the perfect kingdom right now. Life is great, yeah, there may be some Grim Reapers that'll suck souls out, but in all things considered, even with a war raging beyond their walls, nothing's really happening. Hell, Ishtar, I really want to call her Rin, but Ishtar, she'll come crashing down and, he'll just be sitting in his throne, chilling, be like, oh, you're here again? Alright. Oh, you're leaving already? Alright. It's just so casual in the face of war, and if it was any other character other than Gilgamesh, you'd be like, what? This doesn't make sense. But when Gilgamesh says it, for whatever reason, whether he's in his asshole persona or very kingly persona, depending on the anime, he just inspires confidence. There's a reason that when he gets summoned into a Holy Grail war, people recognize that they don't talk back to this man. It's just so interesting to see these characters flourish, and once again, getting that animation in the fight. And I was actually happy that, Ishtar came in to extend the fight, because this animation is gorgeous. There was a time where, before other studios really got the ball moving with the Fate properties, that any animated Fate that wasn't being animated by Ufotable, the visual production just kind of seemed like, man, can we go back to the other studio? Whether it be Lord Elmaloy with last season to now this with, the gotcha money, putting in the time and making sure this has a healthy production cycle, and the animation shows, because the way these characters bounce around, or their objects and weaponry will kind of go around, mixing the 3D with 2D and just camera angles and perspectives, it really does feel like we're flying around these characters, and just with gods and just servants and heroic spirits, you kind of want this to feel destructive and as if you are just a civilian somehow getting this protective bubble around you, as just obstacles and just weaponry and just magical blasts will come our way, and then you'll have a king just sitting on the throne as his throne room is being destroyed because, well, this is just entertainment to him. It's just something that invokes this confidence, this awe-inspiring aura, and a little bit of fear when you really kind of take into consideration what's happening here. And I'm super, super curious about Anna now after Ishtar just kind of looks at her and be like, huh, okay. And then starts parting ways. And just like some of her dialogue throughout this, it's like this kind of cutesy, like, oh man, Merlin, I want to kill you. But she definitely kind of gives me the impression that she actually does hate humans just based on her dialogue, but she's very curious about them. It's just interesting. She was summoned into the forest, she had no master, and then just immediately knew what to do. Like, this character is going to be fun to explore, especially seen by just already what we're getting a taste of for kind of some mystery or just, you know, a lot of complex natures with characters overall, and I'm liking this a lot. I just feel like the pacing in this show is really, really strong. Obviously, you can tell that this is a section of a story in a larger story. Like, you know this isn't the first chapter of the game, but it still feels like its own self-contained entry where as you watch more, you immediately get an understanding of what exactly is going on. And just the idea that everyone's trying to break down these walls for that grail, and how characters who were like, oh, these characters seem pretty fun, and, you know, we can probably call them an ally, are apparently going against Gilgamesh. And it's like, man, I don't know where they want to go with this. I really don't know who's truly going to be friend or foe in this series. I mean, at any point, you know, someone like, be a good person for all we know, or could just be twisted. Like, they always, from what I've been kind of recognizing with Fate, a lot of times they'll try to make something appear at face value as it is. Like, it's a bad person, a good person, a lovable person, but then they'll twist it on its head. And that's what I'm really excited about with Grand Order, is we're already getting that within 3 weeks into this anime, and it doesn't appear like the brakes are going to be hit anytime soon. It actually feels like there's a lot of mystery, a lot of like interesting personalities to explore, and whether we're just getting this drinking party with servants, you know, who haven't had alcohol in a long time, kind of finally letting loose, which goddamn was that a funny scene, to just, I don't remember the last time I looked at anime food and my mouth was drooling, but goddamn, the food looked tasty in this, and based on the character's reaction, it's a good thing they really detailed the art to make it feel as delicious as the characters were reacting to it. It's just interesting how this is a war. This is literally a battlefield, but inside these walls, it's the best way of life. You can literally have gods crashing down through your ceiling and the king won't even bat an eye. He'll be like, can we get her out of here, please? It's just so interesting how familiar, but also vastly different this Fate series feels. Like, even with Gilgamesh, like, you know, he still has that spunk, that little bite that he's always had, but it's a lot more tame, a lot more neutral, where, like, people come in saying, oh, you were having a laugh. Idiot, you think I was laughing because I was having a good time? I could drop a hat and laugh. Like, he still is the Gilgamesh you recognize from the past before he completed his quest or failed his quest, but it still feels like Gilgamesh, but a much more mature and evolved one, and it's clear why his people like him, and basically why he's been such a great general as of this point in time, and why he doesn't really feel the need to go out of his way to recruit more help, because, I mean, bitch, look at what he's been doing. He's been doing just fine, but obviously, I think even if you won't admit it, they do have abilities, so it wouldn't hurt to, you know, send him to the common folk to rebuild walls or, you know, get the sheep's wool, things like that, so it's kind of fun, but to actually see who summoned Merlin to be Gilgamesh and just all the servants he actually has summoned, this man just feels so confident and just, he knows what he's doing, and that in return makes you confident in him just not needing their help. Obviously, I do think they're going to actually fight on the battlefield with Gilgamesh or something to that nature in the future, but as of right now, you understand why he's so kind of nonchalantly just pushing them around, but you also get the understanding that he has an interest in them, as seen by Merlin saying like, yeah, this has never happened before, so get him on a good day and maybe you'll get some more action in your life. I just like how many characters they've already introduced us to, and we're wanting to see more. That's why I really like series like Fate Zero, is because every single character was a main character and could run that show by itself. And whether we're focusing on Anna, whether we're focusing on Gilgamesh, our main characters, you know, Merlin, all these characters can run a scene, and whether they're in action or they're just casually talking or, you know, having some serious talks, you know you're going to be very interested. And lovely after the credit scene is definitely looking a little demonic there. It just kind of feels like this series really knows what it's doing, and I'm really glad that this series is kind of re-sparking my love for Holy Grail Wars, even though Grand Order is a little different with structure. Actually, it's a lot different. I am happy that this is giving me confidence, not only in the Grand Order adaptations, but also just, I want to watch more Fate again. And I was getting burnt out there for a while, but goddamn, I'm back into this. It just feels so weird. It's like, it feels so Fate in so many ways, but then you get casual scenes, or just you're like, hey, Merlin's gonna be like, hey, go on a date with your partner. It's like, that's not really what you expect with Fate, but for whatever reason, it works so naturally in Grand Order. And the best part is even if you don't like those more casual scenes where, you know, they're talking, they're joking, they're drinking, romantic tension, cute little chibi scenes. Like, even if those aren't your cup of tea, that's not what Grand Order is built off of. It actually has a really strong balance that can connect with people who, like me, who likes a variety of scenes and things like that, so no matter what they give me, I'm having a good time. But even if you don't like those more cutesy scenes, that's not what Grand Order is built off of. The personalities can be serious and really mature, and maybe a bit more jokester-like if you're looking at people like Gilgamesh or even, Ishtar. So it's like, they kind of, I feel like, have a formula that's going to grip a lot of Fate fans, whether they're hardcore, maybe newer into the series, or just maybe they're hardcore Fate fans, but they're not usually in for the more anime cheesy scenes. I just kind of feel like the formula is doing a good job at kind of bringing everyone together to say, you know what? This is a damn good Fate anime, and that's what you want to see. Let me know what everyone thought down in the comment section below. For anime originals or even fans of the game, what do you think about episode 3 of Fate Grand Order? If you did enjoy this video, be sure to drop a like and also hit that subscribe button if you have any news. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.